It's the 23rd of April and the market has finally shifted back into an uptrend. We had a whole heap of our strategies play out perfectly, and we just got back from our Bali getaway event where we actually managed to nail the exact bottom on a whole heap of trades live in front of our students while we're running the course. I'm going to show you the exact setups that I took on the back end of my account as well. So what we're looking for, one of the big key things that we look for is a swing failure pattern, which is exactly what happened here. We can see that the price broke below this level here and it failed to continue its swing low, which would have been trading down at these levels through here, but it managed to reclaim this level and push to the upside. Now, this is also a bottoming pattern that we use, which is called a double bottom, where you have two lows that are very similar at the bottom here. And as you can see, that's called a double bottom because there's two bottoms, right? Really basic pattern setup. But basically what you look for is the high here to get broken. And we can see that we've got our little order block there highlighted in red as well to help us identify that. I like to draw a little box around this. And then we look for the price to find some strength above this level here. We also have our thrust candle here, which is what we look for as well as a bit of an imbalance, right? And the price loves to come back and tag these imbalances where you have an order block and an imbalance from a thrust candle, just like that, right? Anyway, once we flip back above this, then that's the confirmation that our double bottom has confirmed and we're putting in a nice low through here. If we jump onto the daily time frame, we actually got a really nice entry trigger just here on the pin bar candle here. It didn't play out straight away. Obviously, we ended up getting that double bottom on the 4 hour, but the real key that we were talking about to our Bali getaway members was that we wanted to see this line through here, which is called the developing value area low. We want to see that get reclaimed. Now, it had a few attempts at getting into this recently and rejected each time, but we finally got acceptance inside the developing value area low. Now, these lines that are drawn all over my chart, they're basically magic levels that are drawn by our indicator. Now, they're not just magic. There's actually a whole heap of development and work done by the Market Mastery team over years of analysis and research to provide you with these levels, but you can just turn on our indicator and it throws these levels on the chart and it makes your life how to trade so much easier. And this was the trade setup that we taught all of our guys to look for. Now, the key what we're going to be looking for was a break of this downtrend line through here, right? This is also called a falling wedge, and you'll learn that when you go through the course and you go through patterns. Now, we usually have a high time frame falling wedge play out usually every quarter, and it's the easiest, most simple trade. Everybody should be able to catch that every single time that it plays out, and it's just free money, literally, if you know how to trade these. But this one was basically the one that we got for Q1, and we're really nice falling wedge, but the key is a break of this downtrend. Now, the next level after that we want to look for is the developing yearly value area low. Now, we want to be wanting to see this hold, which we ended up getting really nice entry triggers all through here. So we can see that we got a nice entry trigger on this candle here, and then a nice entry trigger on this candle here as well. And then we also got a Morningstar reversal setup, which is entry trigger that we also teach you in the course as well. So don't stress if this is too difficult. Basically, all we're looking for is certain reactions off our key levels. So this line through here is from the last year's value area. And then we're looking for this gray area here, which is our current year's value area, to be reclaimed. Now, the reason why these levels work so well is because we're basically hijacking what institutional traders are doing, because they love to trade off this little guy here, which is called the VWAP. So the VWAP is basically an average price. And hedge fund traders and institutional grade traders love to use this metric as a way to get their clients in and out of the market because it basically removes all risk from them, because they got you in at the VWAP, they got you in at the average. So we know that price loves to gravitate to these levels, and then we use this level as a standard deviation either side, and that creates our value area. So we've got the value area low, our VWAP, which is the middle line, which is always the blue one, and then the value area high. Now, when we've reclaimed the value area low, which we've managed to do over the last couple of days, then we were looking for a rotation trade to the VWAP, and then we see the strength there, which we've clearly shown a lot of strength pushing straight through it. Now the next trade setup is a retest of the VWAP and then pushing to the value area high. And that's the full rotation trade from the range low to the range high, right? And you can trade this. This is the yearly value area. We can trade this on multiple time frames. We trade on the daily, we trade it on the weekly, we trade it on the quarterly, we trade it on the monthly, and there's just so many trade setups using this system over and over again. But I like to use the yearlies, and I like to go heavy on those trade setups. Now, this was one of the trades that we showed. The guys had, we were expecting this to play out. And then also one of the other ones was our trade setup on Sui as well, which I'll just show you guys here, the trade setup for that one. Now, this was the exact drawing that I had for the slides for the course, and I was showing everybody that we're looking for this pullback through here. And I'll get a quick overlay with the editing magic to show you guys the slideshow, because price was still actually up here. And we were looking for the overlap of our order block and this imbalance here to get filled. And then that's our entry trigger candle there. And I'll quickly jump across to my chart and show you guys that I took the entry right there. I'll show you the back end of my exchange. We can see how well this played out. Now, this is our entry trigger that we look to take when the market doesn't give us the exact bottom. We can't get a trade right on the exact bottom. We look to get, this is the secondary entry. And a lot of our guys took this trade and it's played out really, really nicely. It's played out really, really nicely here, all the way up to tagging our previous year value area high. Now, quickly, let's go and have a quick look at the back end of my account. So that's the trade on Solana. This is the trade here on Sui. So you can see we have the order block, which is this thing just here, right? Order block, which is just there. And then we also have the imbalance, which is this thrust candle, right? We have a really big, fast moving candle. The market loves to come back in and fill in that imbalance, right? And you can see that I've actually taken the trade right there on our entry candle. There was also a late opportunity to get in this trade here as well on that Morningstar reversal setup, right? And you can see I'm currently up just under $5,000 on this trade. Now from here, if I want to, I can just move my stop loss up to break even just to lock this in. And I can also start to move it up to lock in some profit as well. Okay, so that's a really great trade. I also took pretty much the exact same setup here on Solana as well. So we can see that we had the imbalance through there and the order block is just there. And we came back and I got the trade entry here on the Morningstar reversal, which is our indication the market is about to reverse the upside. So this one is now up $4,300. Now I risked about $500 on both of these trades. Now, remember I was showing you guys our trade setup on Bitcoin back here. Sorry, on this chart just here. I was showing the trade setup on here. So remember the break of the downtrend through here and then the reclaim of this developing yearly value area low. And we wanted to see price go sideways through here. So it's actually the next trade that I took. Here we can see on BTC, I took the trade because we were getting a bounce off that value area low. This is the exact strategy that I taught the guys in our Bali Getaway course, and we teach in our Market Mastery 3 course as well. This is the exact strategy, and this is the example I gave the guys to take the trade. So we can see here that I took one Bitcoin trade, and I'm currently up $9,400 on this trade. Okay, I also took a couple of other trades as well, which are kind of a little bit larger spot trades here on Sui, right? I just averaged in what I thought was going to be the bottoming pattern, and we're looking for a breakout of this falling wedge through here. And we can see that I'm up $26,000 on this trade. This is a picture perfect falling wedge with a really nice sweep of the liquidity of this level through here, right? And I just averaged in all through this range here, and we're up $26,000 on that one, right? Also did the same thing on Bitcoin, right? We're looking for that falling wedge to play out and our double bottom. So I averaged in all the way through here, and we can see that I'm currently up on this trade $73,000. So all we're really doing, guys, is looking for these levels to be tagged, reclaimed, and we look for a rotation to the range high, right? I'll give you an example of the exact same thing happening back in last year and a few of the trades that I took there. So the first trade that I took off this was a really nice one, right? This is almost an inverse head and shoulders as well, but we had a breakdown and tagging our blue line, which is our VWAP. Remember, this line is drawn on the chart by our indicator suite, and it's there. It's not drawn after the fact. It's there beforehand, okay? And we came down and we tagged the level perfectly, get our Morningstar reversal set up, and a really nice bounce. So that's the perfect trade there, right? Another one where we got a rejection from the range high, and we get a full rotation to the value area low, and we bounce off it just there. And then this is the next major trade that I took, bouncing off our VWAP once again. We also got another part of our setup, which is the swing failure pattern. I was talking about that a little bit earlier, and the price bounced right off our VWAP level with our swing failure pattern and the Morningstar reversal set up there as well. So a really nice confluence, and we push to the upside and ended up having a really great trade there. So we're just doing the same thing. What we had back here. So bouncing price between our key levels, and we take the entry triggers when they present themselves. Same thing just here. We took the entry trigger back there and bang, that's a quick $9,000 on that trade. And then obviously you saw the spot trades up about $73,000. So our system works really well, guys, and there's so much proof to see it. So the next trades are either a retest of the VWAP and a rotation to the value area high. And the trade that I love to take is a breakout of the value area high, retest, and then see that one push. Right, here's another example of exactly how that played. Breakout of the value area high, rebound off that, and then push really aggressively. I'll show you another example of that on SUI last year on some of the trades that I took. This was one of the best trades that we had in the community last year. You can see here that we've reclaimed the value area low. We've got our entry candle right here, and the market starts to push. And then we get a nice outside break trade, right, which is break out of the value area and then bounce off that. Really great trade there. If you missed that one, you got an even larger one. Really obvious entry candles right here, and then another entry candle on this one just here as well. But we got the bounce after that. Nice outside break trades, and then a really solid push all the way up into highs. And then we can see that it also gives us signals when the market is getting ready to break down and we need to play defensive as well, right? So we can see here, this is the value area through here. We finally break down and reject out of that, reject out of it again. So we had two opportunities that were getting rejected from the value area, telling us we needed to play defensive and exit this market, right? And now we're breaking back into the value area low. It's telling us we want to be risk on, and this is getting ready to move back to the value area high at 4.1. So you can do this on all altcoins. You can do this on Bitcoin, and it just plays out over and over and over again. And here's an example here of the exact trade setup that I took, right? And it's about an 8.2 risk to reward on that trade, just from value area low up to the developing yearly VWAP. So hopefully that makes sense, guys.